What is going on, garden fans? Welcome back to the Permaculture Homestead. As always, I got an update for you today on the food forest. This video was actually taken like 2 weeks ago, so the whole place looks totally different right now than it does in this video. But as you know, sometimes I narrate these videos and sometimes it's just me walking and talking, and that's what I got for you today. Just me walking and talking about the food forest here and what's going on. Enjoy me rambling. God bless. We have been getting quite a bit of rain here the past 2 weeks, and everything has blown up. Lost some things, have gained some things. My kale kind of fell apart and died. This was my perennial kale that I just keep chopping and it keeps growing. So it kind of fell over in one of our storms, and you kind of see here how I just chop it and it keeps coming and growing. So I wanted to do a little walkabout today here, the food forest. It's been a week or so. I know I've been out of commission kinda. And give you an update of what's going on. Like I said, there's been lots of rain, and because of that, everything has been kind of blowing up, including the weeds. But we don't weed here. I utilize a chop and drop kind of method, or I'll pick my weeds and feed them to my animals as forage. So lots of things are flowering, some of the summer stuff. Catnip are really flowering. Really good looking flower. Bees love it. My whole idea about doing a poison garden here kind of fell by the wayside, but I still do have some foxglove in the back coming up. And the chervil still in here somewhere. Kind of just need to do a summer pruning here and re-clean up this whole area. I have a goji plant that I'm going to take out and replace it with some currants I got from James Prigioni. What's up, brother? How you doing, Dan? My 3x3 vegetable plot is still punching out veggies. All types of basil. I prune my basil. We prune the basil almost weekly here. The peppers, it's getting about hot enough for the peppers to start working. Eggplant right there in the back is coming up, and of course there's all types of basil. That's my companion planting, and marigold. Here's another pepper coming in, and marigold's my companion plant. Goji berry, tons of them coming in. Love goji berry. I actually dehydrate them. We finally got a dehydrator this year, and I found that like when you dehydrate these goji berry, they kind of they turn into a raisin, and they kind of taste sweeter. So I like dehydrating the goji berry. Another veggie plot in here. There's a pineapple guava and basil, marigold, peppers. This big giant, I've got to prune down the muscadines. This is tansy. Inedible. I bring it in for the pollinators, and as I step here to make like a wide shot of the garden that I've been doing, you can kind of see how everything has put on a good couple feet of growth. Still rotating potato plots in and out. Blackberries I have planted here have put on huge canes, and since the last video, the moringa all around the food forest has really picked up. Basil, peppers, more basil, peppers and stuff here. All the elderberry on the homestead are starting to come in. They'll probably be ripe in another month or so. Looks like one of my kales hiding here has got some white moth damage. So what I'll do is I'll come through and just chop it. I'm just going to chop it off. I'll eat whatever's edible, and what will happen is it'll start to grow back. Lots of stuff going on here. My veggie box is doing okay. To help alleviate my weed problem, I'm once again tractoring the rabbit through the food forest. So there's some spots where there's tons of green weeds, and there's spots where he's come through, he's cleared it out some, he's manured, and now we've got rain, so that manure is now gonna kind of feed the earth. Got a really nice system here going on. Pineapple guava, pineapple guava and a moringa that had been overwintered is really coming back. It's put on so much growth in just 2 weeks. These things grow really fast. I am hiding veggies, as you all know, throughout the food forest here. And we got some pest damage. I mean, I don't spray, I don't treat. I'm really just letting nature do its thing back here. And I'm trying to find the hardiest of hardy plants to grow. So we got a purple basil and okra and marigold. And my favorite longevity spinach is really coming to life now that it has some shade from my elderberry hedge here. There's a little row of carrots and lemon balm and all types of fun little herbs peppered throughout my food forest here. I'm actually going to step a little deeper to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. I got a peach tree centralized, and catnip is now flowering everywhere. This is pineapple sage growing next to that, and then oregano, which is also flowering next to that. So in between my trees, this is a peach, and I got a fig. I just try to pepper in between them some herbs and veggies that are perennial and that I can really just not have to worry about. Amongst all those, I've got blackberries starting to spread from the upper swale portion. Time to get up there though. Let me back up out of here. The chickens got out one day, ate up some of my artichoke, but most of them are looking good. Tons of parsley. Like, I eat parsley daily. It is so good for your health. Here's a moringa tree that has blown up in 2 weeks, put on like 2 or 3 feet of growth. Still have ginger growing and still have autumn olive all over the place, really picking up. My hibiscus starting to flower. So there's going to be some flowers here on the hibiscus soon. My Pakistani mulberry, man. So this was a casualty of our late frost, this Pakistani mulberry, and it's finally succumbed, it's finally died. But down at the base of it, it's shooting out some new suckers and new growth. So really this year, I'm just hoping to, I'm gonna come through here, chop off the old dead tree, and hope that a mulberry bush starts to form. I've got all types of herbs around it. My anise hyssop, one of my favorite herbs, chocolate covered herb, chocolate flavored herb. So that's like my lower swale. Upper swale portion is filled with blackberries. We pick about a gallon of blackberries 2 to 3 times a week. I mean, there are so many blackberries here. And when you come and just pick one out of a cluster, and a cluster has 5 or 6 in them, you can start to get the idea of how many blackberries we can harvest in a week. There's lots of blackberries here, and of course new canes, next year's canes are coming up, so I do trellis the new canes to cages just to kind of centralize all my canes in one area here. The black mulberry I had that had passed away has come back in full force. So now this was a mulberry that had died in our late frost, and it's now 6-7 feet tall in just a couple months. So mulberry are super hardy. This was a tree that was about 8 feet tall. It died in a late frost, and it's already come back looking good. As always, I've got veggies and stuff peppered throughout the food forest, and there's, like I said, grass is starting to come in because we've gotten so much rain. Grape polyculture here. Sure, Mars grapes with anise hyssop and parsley, still looking good. Sweet potato ground cover that I started with slips a year ago, right on, looking good. So the whole food forest is blowing up. It's looking good. My cardoon is kind of flowered and gone, but the fig right next to it is now starting to blow up some. Chickens are out. We got all types of passion fruit growing all around the bees back there. 2 plums are doing what plums do. They have a mint understory. And along my fence line I have blackberries that are putting out more canes. Jeez. I mean, it is truly a jungle back here at this point in the game. There are all types of pests out here. Let me see if I can find some. I know we got leaf-footed bugs that are kind of taking over. but I do also see a lot of the birds coming out here and feasting throughout the day. So we have pests. Yes, we have pests. Yes, I have pest damage, but I also have the predators that are coming to help out. I got a bunch of hugel lumps back here. I know I've talked about them in all my vids, but this is just a huge forest of lemon balm. This is mint. This is pomegranate right there. There are sea berry in here. And lots of my crops are going to flower. So the mint is really going to flower, bringing in some beneficial pollinators. I've got bee balm over here. That looks really nice. It's starting to flower. So lots of things are flowering. Some of my spring crops are dying. A lot of the summer crops are coming in. And I'm kind of at another transition point where I need to do like this huge chop and drop. I need to come through the food forest, chop and drop everything, and kind of get ready for fall. I'm going to step back here and show you this hedge of sumac that's really blown up. Once again, in like 2 weeks, it's grown 2 feet. And as I step through it, you'll see my jujube also, which is blown up in just 2 weeks. So I need to chop and drop. I need to provide a little more light for my jujube. At the beginning of the spring, I liked the sumac. It was kind of protecting the jujube. But now that the jujube is kind of matured up some here, I need to get it a little more light. A couple things I want to touch on to end with. Pawpaws are really blowing up. They're finally about 6 feet tall. And they've put on their most growth this year. I mean, they've just about doubled in size. And I'm expecting them to get even bigger. I'm going to be pruning back my peach trees a bit to get some more light to my pawpaws. My rabbit poop veggie plot looking pretty nice. Sunflowers on the back row are coming in. Of course, sunflowers bring in wonderful pollinators. I do see my bees on them. I see all the native bees hitting them up. So that back row of sunflower did really good. The corn patch that was supposed to be in here didn't do so well, I'm not gonna lie. Still got tons of buckwheat that I need to come through here and harvest. So I got seed for next year. But the corn and the beans didn't really do too well in this planting. Now once again, I didn't maintain it at all. I just kind of planted and walked away, let Mother Nature do what she does best. But the squash and the zucchini living here are still doing really well. There's some lemon balm as a companion plant. So there's all types of perennial herbs in here with annual vegetables and border of borage. And the whole thing has really kind of been working well. Squash kind of crawling up this native maple tree. Some of the things that didn't work though were of course the corn. And maybe some of the beans didn't come up, but overall we have been harvesting out of this, and it looks like I've got some more to come before it comes time to plant out the fall stuff. Anyway, garden fans, I kind of want to end it here. I want to thank you all for coming by and checking out my food forest. At this point in the year, it really is a food forest, and the canopy is getting thick. There's lots of shade provided to the veggies and herbs that are underneath this giant canopy. And a lot of things that grow quickly here in the summer, like moringa, are really starting to step up their game. So it's been a fun year this year. I'm having a lot of fun in the food forest, seeing this development come. It's no longer a baby, actually. It's starting to get a little more mature, and we're kind of hitting adolescence. I want to thank you all for watching, as always. There's so much here, and hard to hit on all of it. But the whole food forest is looking good, and this has been a really fun project, and I appreciate you all coming around for the journey. If you got any questions at all, please just ask, and keep in touch. I'm going to go ahead and do a chop and drop video, and you'll see that this place will look drastically different after just one day of chop and drop. Appreciate you all watching. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. God bless.